What's up, everyone? I'm Coach D, and wow, pretty much 93,000 subscribers to my channel. Just want you guys to know how much I appreciate it. So, my wife, just the other day, comes across a video of a lady saying that there was a measles outbreak in Texas. And anytime I hear things like this, I get pretty leery of the information because I realize there's a lot of misinformation out there and people trying to fearmonger, and that this comes from the left and the right sometimes. So typically when I see this stuff, I usually try to Google it, try to find as much information about it as I can. And when I looked into this, I found out that it is true. And this article, I want to read from this article here because it says Texas measles outbreak rises to 48 cases. It's the state's worst in nearly 30 years. So in 30 years, they haven't had 48 cases, and now suddenly they're having that. So I want to read from this article because it says an ongoing measles outbreak in West Texas has doubled in size to 48 cases, mostly in children and teens, making it the state's worst in nearly 30 years. State health officials said Friday in a news release that those who are infected are either unvaccinated or their vaccination status is unknown. 13 people have been hospitalized. This is crazy. Just to let you guys know, this is not normal. And to pretend that this isn't happening because of the sudden rise in anti-vax, conversation and all that is fooling yourself. It is because of things like this. And it's unbelievable to me because a lot of these people will talk about how you can't trust doctors. I don't trust doctors. You think we should trust doctors? You trust doctors? I'm always like, listen, I don't trust anyone 100%. I'm not advocating for that. But I'm also saying the second that these people get sick or their kids get sick from these things, guess who they call? They call doctors. They call the people that they say we shouldn't trust. During COVID and all the vaccine talk, right? Everyone was saying, oh, I don't trust doctors. I don't trust. These people see doctors all the time. Oh, I don't trust the Federal Drug Administration. These people take over-the-counter medication all the time. They go to doctors. They get prescribed medicine from doctors. They take that medicine. This talk about not trusting doctors is asinine because every single person, the second that something is wrong with them, they call a freaking doctor. All of these congressmen and congresswomen who are always bragging about how they never took the jab and all of that, these people also call doctors. They take over-the-counter medication and they take prescribed medication. And their rhetoric is what is now causing an outbreak in measles in an area that is mostly red. One person I always refer to anytime I want to know things about these situations is a doctor that I found on TikTok a long time ago. And now I follow him on TikTok. I follow him on Instagram. If the guy has a social media account, I follow him because I truly believe this guy is honest. He has no reason to not be honest, and he gives you the real. And so now we have this measles outbreak in West Texas, right? And we're seeing a little bit happening in New Mexico as well. These things are going to spread and get out of hand. The more people talk about not trusting science and not trusting doctors and not trusting vaccines and all of this, right? These things are gonna rise. Well, now you have a department that was founded by RFK Jr., the guy who's in charge of health now in our country, coming out and saying that there is a benefit to getting the measles. So I want you guys to listen to my guy, Eric, who is the doctor that I refer to anytime I want to know about these things. And again, I don't just refer to Eric. When Eric says something, you know what I do? I look that up. Sometimes I call other people who are in the medical field and I ask them about it. And I've never found him to be wrong about anything. So I want you to listen to him tell you that there are no benefits to getting the measles. No matter what these people are saying, there's no benefit to it, and people are going to die because of this information.
The anti-vax conspiracy group Children's Health Defense, which was founded by our current Health and Human Services Secretary, RFK Jr., just published an article today talking about the health benefits of measles. I'm not kidding. They said, however, what mainstream medicine rarely acknowledges is that measles is not just a disease to be feared, but it also has long documented health benefits. And then they go on to reference like a few studies from the 1960s discussing theoretical health benefits of measles infection. Because nothing really has changed in modern medicine since the 1960s. We still recommend cigarettes for relaxation and amphetamines for weight loss. But what they don't mention is all the bad things associated with measles infection, which are very well documented. Things like viral pneumonia, respiratory failure, conjunctivitis, hemorrhagic measles, otitis media, diarrhea, dehydration. Measles actually causes something known as immune amnesia, where the measles infection knocks out your immunity to other infections, leaving you immunocompromised after recovering from measles, so you're susceptible to other infections. There's also a rare complication of measles known as subacute sclerosing panencephalitis. It affects about 2 in every 10,000 people infected with measles, but it's even more common in unvaccinated infants, about 1 in every 600. And it's essentially the measles virus infects your brain cells and then just hangs out there. And you have an asymptomatic period that can be anywhere between 1 and 27 years. And then all of a sudden, people will start to develop personality changes, movement disorders, seizures, as the virus causes massive amounts of inflammation in your brain. And this disease is almost always fatal. And it's a result of measles infection. I can't believe in the year of our Lord 2025, as a physician, I have to tell people that there are no health benefits to measles infection. I have taken care of patients who have had measles, and they were miserable, and they were really sick and required hospitalization. One of them came close to being intubated because of the severe pneumonia he had as a result of measles infection, and then all the infections he got afterwards because of how sick he was. Please, do not take your health advice from random health gurus on the internet. They do not have your best interest in heart, because I guarantee you, they're trying to sell you something. So please, don't do this. Don't get the measles. There are no health benefits to the measles. Jesus Christ.
Imagine the amount of people who might perish because of the information being given to them by people they're supposed to be able to trust. This is why it is so important to be educated. And I'm not talking about going to college. I'm talking about educating yourself, taking in as much information as you can, being a critical thinker, going to trusted sources. There are people right now who have read this information who think it is okay for them to expose their kids to measles. This is not good at all. And again, families are going to be torn apart because people are taking bad advice right now. This is absolutely horrible. And remember all of the conspiracies that they tried to get you to believe during the COVID crisis about vaccines and the jab. And you have, again, all of these people all bragging about how they never took the jab. And all of that information was untrue. And I just have to reiterate again, I need to make sure we make this point clear. All of these people who are telling you do not trust doctors and do not trust science are the first to run to doctors when they have medical crisis. They're running to doctors because they know those are the people who have the knowledge, and those are the people who we trust because we always have. These doctors that I follow, they spend so much time trying to prove to people that they're not paid by big pharma. They're not getting checks to tell you these things. They do it out of the goodness of their heart. They don't have to. They do it because they know it saves lives. Please, people, please be educated. Be critical thinkers. Don't think that a disease that we have tried for years, decades, to make sure that people are free of, all of a sudden, there's a benefit to it. Goodness gracious. Sometimes you guys in my comments will say, I don't know if I can take 4 years of this. I agree. There's no way we're going to be able to take 4 years of this. Democrats need to start standing up and speaking up on all of this shit. It shouldn't be myself and other independent journalists doing this. We should have Democrats at microphones in front of cameras day in and day out debunking this bullshit, making sure they're giving the American people information that is not lies or disinformation and misinformation, because lives are going to be lost because of this shit that they're putting out there. Please, people, let's do better. Period.
Don't want no enemies or ops. Envy in their heart, I tell them stop. Vacation on the yacht.